matters to us that we give your family the healthiest of meals.
Whatever you have at home, North Sides can turn nutritious veggies into mouth-watering meals.
Bird's Eye Italian-style vegetables. We make it here, but it tastes like there.
Any botanist on Earth can tell you this. Plants are trying to kill you.
Probably the least important one of those four, but still the four things that I think are harmful for humans are vegetables.
When you go to the market now, it'll say plant-based, but I read labels. When I turn it on the back and look at the label, I'm like, half of that ain't plant.
If you take a deep dive into human history, you'll realize that people never ate vegetables. Hunters and early farmers primarily relied on meat and animal-based foods because they provided the most energy and nutrition. Raw vegetables, on the other hand, were rarely consumed in most cultures. They knew that vegetables were tough to digest and didn't provide the same sustenance level. And guess what? Nothing has changed. At some point, the narrative shifted. Vegetables became the perfect marketing tool for the weight loss industry. They were sold to us as the ultimate health food, the key to a long, disease-free life. And today, they're being pushed harder than ever, not just for personal health, but under the guise of being environmentally friendly. At the end of the day, a sick population is a profitable one. Around 12,000 years ago, with the development of agriculture, this marked a drastic shift in lifestyle and diet. This pushed us away from the hunter-gatherer lifestyle that shaped human biology and created a reliance on foods like wheat, bread, grains, and vegetables. We've been told that vegetables are essential for our health, but many people are starting to question this claim. If they are truly necessary, why do so many people struggle to digest them? And why do animals like cows, which eat only plants, thrive while humans often experience bloating, inflammation, and digestive discomfort from a plant-heavy diet? The answer lies in our biology. Cows and other herbivores have evolved to process plant material efficiently. They have a 4-chambered stomach, designed specifically to break down tough plant fibers. Each chamber has a unique role in the digestion process, allowing them to extract nutrients from plants in ways that humans simply can't. Their digestive system is equipped with specialized bacteria that ferment plant matter, turning it into energy and nutrients they can use. Humans, on the other hand, have a single-chambered stomach, much like other omnivores and carnivores. Our digestive system isn't optimized for breaking down large amounts of raw plant material. When we eat fibrous vegetables, much of that fiber remains undigested as it passes through our system. This can cause bloating, discomfort, and even inflammation in the gut. Some people experience digestive issues, such as irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, leaky gut, or food intolerances, because their bodies simply aren't designed to process certain plant compounds efficiently. This doesn't mean that all vegetables are harmful for everyone, but it does raise an important question. Have you been misled about the importance of vegetables in your diet? Instead of assuming that plant-based foods are the gold standard for nutrition, maybe it's time to rethink whether they truly benefit everyone, or anyone at all, or if they are just causing more harm than good. Despite the debates about the health effects of vegetables, the strategic push for plant-based diets has only grown stronger. But this movement isn't about promoting health. It's about big business and creating a weak, chronically sick population. The rise of vegetarian and vegan food brands has turned vegetables into a multi-billion-dollar industry, with companies heavily marketing plant-based products as the superior option.
This is going to sound extreme when I say it, but I'll back it up. There are no nutrients in plants that you cannot get from animal foods in essentially equivalent or more bioequivalent forms.
Many of those who have bought into this deceptive agenda have become nutrient deficient and chronically ill, which ultimately results in dependence on pharmaceuticals and more profit for the healthcare industry. Let's talk about kale. Today, it's praised as a nutrient-packed superfood, but for most of history, it was barely on anyone's radar. In fact, before 2013, the biggest buyer of kale in the United States wasn't a health food company or a trendy restaurant. It was Pizza Hut. But they weren't using it for salads or toppings. Instead, they used kale purely for decoration around their salad bars.
Up until 2013, Pizza Hut was the largest buyer of kale in the United States. And what did they use it for? They used it for garnish around the outside of the pizza bar.
That's right. The so-called superfood was considered nothing more than a useless garnish. So what changed? A marketing campaign. In 2013, kale got a publicist. Yes, an actual PR team led by Ms. Oberon Sinclair, dedicated to making it popular. They worked tirelessly to rebrand kale as the ultimate health food, pushing it into mainstream culture. Almost overnight, kale was everywhere, blended into smoothies, tossed into salads, baked into chips, and even printed on t-shirts as a badge of honor for health-conscious consumers. It wasn't that kale suddenly became healthy, it was that the right people decided to disguise it that way. And kale is just one example. The plant-based industry thrives on convincing people that vegetables and meat substitutes are the key to a better, longer life. But behind the scenes, it's just another massive business built on manipulative marketing, trends, and greed. Kale has been promoted as a healthy vegetable by a cunning marketing team.
MVP of greens, it is King Kale.
Because it's one of the most nutritious vegetables.
I knew kale before it was kale.
But most people aren't aware of the dark side of this so-called superfood.
Can we stop with the kale propaganda?
One of the biggest issues is that kale contains compounds called isothiocyanates, which can interfere with the body's ability to absorb iodine. This is a serious problem because iodine is essential for proper thyroid function. When the thyroid doesn't get enough iodine, it can lead to issues like fatigue, weight gain, and hormonal imbalances. Another major concern is that kale has been found to accumulate heavy metals, including thallium, cesium, lead, and even arsenic. These toxic metals can build up in the body over time, leading to neurological issues, digestive problems, and other long-term health complications. What's even more surprising is that this issue isn't just limited to conventionally grown kale. Studies have found that both organic and non-organic kale samples contain these contaminants. Choosing organic doesn't make kale any safer or healthier. Your best bet is just to avoid it altogether. Many vegetables contain something called antinutrients, natural compounds that block the absorption of key vitamins and minerals. These antinutrients are complex defense mechanisms that plants have to avoid being eaten. They range from phytates to lectins to oxalates to protease inhibitors to phytoestrogens. And unfortunately, kale is not the only culprit. Take spinach, for example. We're told it's packed with iron, but in reality, most humans only absorb about 1% of that iron. The same goes for other plant-based nutrients. They might look impressive on paper, but if our bodies can't use them, what's the point? One major group of anti-nutrients is lectins. These are proteins found in many plant foods, especially legumes, grains, raw nuts, corn, and nightshade vegetables like tomatoes, potatoes, and eggplants. Lectins can damage the lining of the digestive tract, leading to inflammation and issues like leaky gut. In some cases, they even trigger autoimmune reactions, where the body starts attacking its own tissues. Then there are oxalates, which bind to calcium in the body and can contribute to kidney stones, joint pain, and thyroid problems. Foods like spinach, almonds, beets, and potatoes are loaded with oxalates, which might explain why a lot of people feel worse, not better, when they eat a lot of vegetables. Low oxalate and oxalate-free diets have been proven to improve conditions including autism, asthma, fibromyalgia, kidney stones, thyroid disease, chronic inflammation, and so much more. When you consider all the downsides of vegetables, anti-nutrients, poor nutrient absorption, and even toxic compounds, it starts to make sense why so many vegetarians and vegans struggle with health issues. If vegetables were truly the ultimate health food, why do people who rely on plant-based diets often need supplements just to function properly? Many health experts, including doctors who once strongly advocated for plant-based eating, have reevaluated their stance. Dr. Ken Berry, for example, was once a believer in the benefits of vegetables. However, after years of research and personal experience, he eliminated all vegetables, nuts, and seeds from his diet.
I was wrong about eating vegetables. Back when I made this video back in December of 2017, I still fully believed in the magical nutrition found in vegetables and fruits and other plants. Since then, after 4 years of deep dive research into human nutrition, human physiology, and human medicine, I've discovered that I was wrong about the magic in plants.
Instead, he now follows an animal-based diet, focusing on grass-fed meats, pasture-raised eggs, and other nutrient-dense animal foods. Since making this switch, he claims his health has drastically improved, with better digestion, increased energy, and fewer inflammatory issues. This raises an important question. If vegetables are as essential to human health as we've been told, why do so many people feel better without them? Many people who switch to a diet centered around animal-based foods report significant health improvements.
And for the lady, perhaps a salad?
Perhaps not. I'll have the steak smothered in onions, a rack of ribs.
Instead of relying on plant-based meals, they focus on nutrient-dense options like grass-fed meat, organ meats, pasture-raised eggs, raw dairy, and natural sugars from fruit and honey. These foods provide essential vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats in forms that the body can easily absorb. Grass-fed meat is not just a protein source. It's packed with bioavailable nutrients like iron, zinc, and B vitamins, which are crucial for energy production and immune function. Organ meats, often overlooked in modern diets, are essentially nature's multivitamins.
Because if you look at the nutrients in animal foods, right? There are many nutrients in animal foods that do not occur in plants. And we know this. B12, but the list is much bigger. Vitamin K2, choline, carnosine, carnitine, anserine, taurine. The list is extremely long, but you can't say the same thing about plants. There are no nutrients that occur in plants that you can't get from animal foods.
None. Vitamin C?
You can definitely get vitamin C from animal foods.
And you get it from, what do you get from liver?
Liver, heart, muscle, it all has vitamin C.
Liver, in particular, is loaded with vitamin A, B12, and iron, all of which support brain function, metabolism, and overall vitality. Pasture-raised eggs offer high-quality protein and choline, a nutrient essential for brain health and liver function. Raw dairy is full of beneficial bacteria, enzymes, and calcium, which aid digestion and strengthen bones. Even fruit and honey, often dismissed due to their sugar content, provide natural, easily digestible carbohydrates that fuel the body and support hormonal balance. Those who eliminate vegetables from their diet report life-changing benefits. They experience better digestion, clearer skin, higher energy levels, and improved mental clarity. Some even find relief from chronic conditions such as autoimmune diseases, bloating, and joint pain, issues that they may not have connected to their vegetable-heavy diets before. At the end of the day, maybe some people tolerate vegetables without obvious health repercussions, but they are not a miracle health food, and definitely not a necessity. If you are dealing with gut, skin, or other health issues, or even if there is nothing apparent. Try switching to an animal-based diet and tracking your health progress. It is about time you reconnect with the ancestral wisdom that fueled humans for centuries. Start eating foods that we are biologically designed to eat and be awakened by the power of real, whole foods. Thanks for watching. Please like this video, press the subscribe button, and drop your thoughts in the comment section.